Good morning, children. So after many months, you are going to listen the lesson from me, right? From today onwards, you are going to receive videos from me. So today we are going to start with The Happy Prince, the story written by Oscar Wilde. This is really a very beautiful story. Children, we are really attracted to the stories because they are really we always connect to the stories whenever we are reading a story or watching a TV or doing anything. We always get connected to that story. That's the reason children always love to read the stories and watch the videos. So this is the Happy Prince story written by Oscar Wilde. Let us know about the author. See, this Oscar Wilde, his full name was Oscar Finney O'Flaherty Wills Wilde, was born on 16th October 1854, Dublin in Ireland, and he died on 30th November 1900. And when he died, he was 46 years old, and he was author, poet and playwright. And what kind of stories he wrote? He wrote epigram, drama, short story, criticism and journalism. So what is epigram? Epigram is a short saying of a poem that presents an idea in a clever and funny way. Now here is one of his very frequently quoted epigram, that is, I can resist everything except temptations. So what is the fun in that? What is that? So temptation is the one which we cannot resist ourselves, and he is telling he can resist everything except temptations. And here are the other books what he had written: The Selfish Giant, which you know already, and The Plays of Oscar Wilde, and An Ideal Husband, and The Importance of Being Earnest. These are the few books what he has written. Now let us go to the story. Now here you can see the Happy Prince there, and this Happy Prince is nothing but a beautiful statue which was covered with gold, and his eyes were made of sapphire was there to his eyes, and his sword, here you can find a ruby there. Okay. Now this is the statue which is there in the city. Now let us go back to let's see what is there in the story. High above the city, on a tall column, stood the statue of a happy prince. He was gilded all over with thin leaves of fine gold. For eyes he had two bright sapphires, and a large red ruby glowed on his sword hilt. One night there flew over the city a little swallow. His friends had gone away to Egypt 6 weeks before, but he had stayed behind. Then he decided to go to Egypt too. All day long he flew, and at night time he arrived at the city. Where shall I put up? He said. I hope the town had made preparations. So till here let me tell you what is there in that. And the Happy Prince was there, and as I told that he was there gilded with gold, and then precious sapphires and ruby was there. And then one day a swallow came there, and he came to that city because he wanted to go to Egypt, and his friends already went there, and he was going on the way he was there. And after entering, he thought that I hope the town had made preparations for my stay. So then he saw the statue on the tall column. I will put up there, he cried. It is a fine position with plenty of fresh air. So he alighted just between the feet of the Happy Prince. So he went there and he sat between the Happy Prince's feet because it's tall and fresh air will be there, and he thought he would enjoy. And look at the way what he told. I have a golden bedroom, he said softly to himself as he round and he prepared to go to sleep. But just as he was putting his head under his wing, a large drop of water fell on him. What a curious thing, he cried. There is not a single cloud in the sky, and the stars are quite clear and bright, and yet it is raining. So when it was about to sleep, lifting its wing and keeping its head inside the inside the wing, at that time it felt a big drop of water fell on him, and immediately it looked up to see the sky. The sky is very clear, many stars are there were no clouds, but how it is raining. It was really surprised to see that. Then, then another drop fell. What is the use of the statue if it cannot keep the rain off? He said. I must look for a good chimney pot. And he determined to fly away. But before he had opened his wing, a third drop fell and he looked up and saw. Ah, what did he see? The eyes of the happy prince were filled with tears, and tears were running down his golden cheeks. His face was so beautiful in the moonlight that the little swallow was filled with pity. Who are you? He said. I am the happy prince. Why are you weeping then? Asked the swallow. You have quite drenched me. So, now he was going to answer that question. Now look here, what happened? 3 drops fell on him. So when he looked up and he wanted to go away from that place to find a better place, he saw that the happy prince's eyes were filled with tears. Then he felt really very pity and went to him and started talking to him. Asked him, who are you? And then he said, I am happy prince. If you are happy prince, then he should not cry now. Then why are you crying? Then and look at me. You have drenched me completely. The weather is always already cold and you drenched me. Then he started giving the reply. When I was alive and had a human heart, answered the statue, I did not know what tears were, for I lived in a palace where sorrow is not allowed to enter. My courtiers called me the happy prince, and happy indeed I was. So I lived and so I died. And now that I am dead, they have set me up here so high that I can see the ugliness and all the misery of my city, and thought my heart is made of lead, yet I cannot choose but weep. Look at his answer. When he was alive, when he was a prince, he was really very happy. He did not know any sorrow. Now when I was reading about this paragraph, I recollected Gautam Buddha. I think you all know him. He was also a happy prince and he did not know about any misery. Very happy in his palace. Once he went out of the palace, when he saw the misery around and the people were crying and dying, he wanted to go back. He just left his wife and son and the palace and then went away and went round and got that kind of alignment. So here he did not even go out of that and he was very happy and he died. And after his death, as he was a happy prince, a statue was made and he was there. Though his inner parts were made of lead, he started feeling very bad when he see the misery of the people, problems of the people, whoever were living. And he was placed on a very high platform, and from there he could see entire village, and that made him really feel very sad when people were crying. Feeling very sad with all the miseries and problems. Now, what is he not solid gold? So he told, I am made of lead. So when you look at that outer part which was made of gold, the bird thought that entire thing inside also there was gold, but it was just gold gilded, covered with gold. So he asked, what? Is he not solid gold? Said the swallow to himself. He was too polite to make any personal remarks, but he did not say, because that may hurt him. What? Are you not full of gold? Is there some other metal is there inside you? Did not want to hurt the prince. Then, now the prince again started talking. What did he say? Far away, continued the statue in a low musical voice. Far away, in a little street, there is a poor house. One of the windows is open, and through it I can see a woman seated at the table. Her face is thin and worn, and she has coarse red hands, all pricked by the needle, for she was a seamstress. She is embroidering flowers on a satin gown for the loveliest of the queen's maids of honor to wear at the next court ball. In a bedroom, in the corner of the room, her little boy is lying ill. He has a fever and is asking his mother to give him oranges. His mother has nothing to give him but river water. So he is crying, swallow, swallow, little swallow, will you not bring her the ruby out of my sword hilt? My feet are fastened to this pedestal and I cannot move. So here the prince is requesting the swallow to take the ruby and give that to the seamstress. What is she? Seamstress means she's always stitching on the velvet satin gown where the queen's maids wanted to go for the court ball. So she was preparing that, and he got fever and he was asking for food and oranges, but she could not give because she did not have any money, and the boy was crying for something to eat, and she gave just river water. Then I am waited for Egypt, said the swallow. My friends are flying up and down the Nile and talking to the large lotus flowers. Soon they will go to sleep. The prince asked the swallow to stay with him for one night and be his messenger. The boy is so thirsty and the mother so sad. He said, I don't think I like boys, answered the swallow. I want to go to Egypt. But the happy prince looked so sad that the little swallow was sorry. It is very cold here, he said, but he agreed to stay with him for one night and be his messenger. Thank you, little swallow, said the prince. So what happened? When the prince asked him to go and give that, he told that, no, I am supposed to go to Egypt. All my friends went there already and they were flying over the Nile river and they were talking to the lotus flowers, and soon they will be sleeping. I have to go to Egypt. Then the prince asked, see, please, the boy is really very thirsty and the mother was very sad. Please, only one night, stay today night and help that person and go. And the happy prince looked so sad because of that woman who was really crying and the boy who was suffering. So even the little swallow also could not say no. So it is very cold here, he said, but he agreed to stay there for one night and wanted to help, be the messenger for the happy prince. Then the prince felt very happy and said, thank you. And the swallow picked out the great ruby from the prince's fold and flew away with it in its beak over the roofs of the town. Now the bird started flying in the city with the ruby in its beak. Now, he passed by the cathedral tower where the white marble angels were sculptured. He passed by the palace and heard the sounds of dancing. A beautiful girl came out on the balcony with her lover. I hope my dress will be ready in time for the state ball, she said. I have ordered flowers to be embroidered on it, but the seamstresses are so lazy. So when he was going, he went there. Look at that, he was cathedral tower was there, and then there were white marble angels were carved on that, and then one beautiful girl came out and started telling, I already placed order for my dress to wear on the ball. So I think that seamstress will complete that. These seamstresses are very lazy. The bird heard that when she was really, the old woman was really, the lady was really suffering because the baby was not feeling well, and even then she was making, look at the way, she was tired. He passed over river and saw the lanterns hanging on the masts of the ships. At last he came to the poor woman's house and looked in. The boy was tossing feverishly on the bed, not able to sleep. Tossing means moving this side and that side because he could not sleep. And the mother had fallen asleep. See, she keeping all the material, she was just sleeping on the table. And she was so tired. In he hopped and laid the great ruby on the table beside the woman's thimble. Thimble means this one, what she will wear to the finger when she was stitching so that it won't prick her. And beside that, the bird kept the ruby. Then he flew gently round the bed, fanning the boy's forehead with his wings, went round the bed and then flagging his wings so that the boy could get a little bit air. How cool I feel, said the boy. I must be getting better. And he sank into the delicious slumber. So he started sleeping when the bird flew round with when it was flapping the wings. Cool wind came and the boy felt really happy and slept. Then the swallow flew back to the happy prince and told him what he had done. It is curious, he remarked, but I feel quite warm now. Oh, it is so cold. That is because you have done a good action, said the prince. And the little swallow began to think and then fell asleep. Thinking always make him sleepy. So it went back to the prince and told that what all work he did, that he went round the boy's bed and then flapped the things and the boy felt very cold. All that, everything he told. And then afterwards he made, now it actually it's very cold, but I'm feeling quite warm now. Then the prince told, that is because you helped the lady, so you are feeling warm. And then for that he started thinking, and while thinking he fell asleep, because thinking always make people sleep. When the day broke, he flew down to the river and had a bath. Tonight I go to Egypt, said the swallow, as he was in high spirits at the prospect. He visited all the monuments and sat a long time on top of the jet steeple. So it was next day, that help is over now. The prince asked only for one day. So she went and helped. Now it was planning to go back again to Egypt. So when the moon rose, he flew back to the happy prince. Have you any commissions for Egypt? He cried. I'm just starting. So went and asked, Prince, I'm going today. Do you have any work there in Egypt? Commissions means any work. I'm going there. Do you have any work there in Egypt? Then look at the princess. Swallow, swallow, little swallow, will you stay with me for one night longer? I'm waited for in Egypt, answered swallow. So they are waiting for me and I need to go and I can't stay one more night. Then swallow, swallow, little swallow, said the prince. Far away across the city, I see a young man in a garret. He is leaning over the desk covered with papers, and in the glass by his side there is a bunch of withered violets. His hair is brown and crisp and his lips are red as a pomegranate, and he has large and dreamy eyes. He is trying to finish a play for the director of the theatre, but he is too cold to write anymore. There is no fire in the grate and hunger has made him faint. I will wait with you for one night longer, said the swallow, who really had a good heart. He asked if he should take another rupee for the young playwright. Alas, I have no rupee now, said the prince. My eyes are all that I have left. They are made of rare sapphires, which were brought out of India 1,000 years ago. He ordered the swallow to pluck out one of them and take it to the playwright. He will sell it to the jailer and buy firewood and finish his play, he said. Now, you can see here, this is the garret where he was living, and that is the fireplace, which is the meaning of grate. Garret is this place and grate is the fireplace. So there is no fire in his house. So if there is fire, he could burn that and keep that the entire room very hot, and he can write the stories. He did not have money, so he can't buy the wood, and it was very cold, and he was also very hungry, so he could not write the stories. So will you please help him staying for one night? Then immediately the sparrow said, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to take one more rupee and give? Then he said, no, I don't have rubies. Now what I have is the sapphire, my eyes. Take one and go and give him. He will sell that and buy the firewood, and he can complete writing the story so that he can give to the director. Okay, so whether he would go and give that sapphire to the playwright or not, we will see in the next class. Okay, children? Thank you. Now I want all of you read the lesson till where we have completed and then understand that. We are going to continue the lesson in the next part. Okay? Thank you.